And we're live. Hello, everyone. I'm Grant Cohn, joined by Botond from Budapest, who's been gone the last few weeks, and now he's back. He went through a major surgery. Botond, why don't you tell people what you've been up to, man?
First of all, guys, I'm glad to be here, and I want to thank you all the love and the great words you shared with me during this time. Well, I've had a jaw surgery because one of my wisdom teeth was some kind of in a terribly wrong position, and none of my dentists before told me that there's going to be a problem. But about 3 or 4 weeks ago, at night, I just had a strong ache in my mouth, and after that I went to some of the doctors. But right now here in Hungary with this COVID situation, it's really hard to get into a doctor who can make a jaw surgery. For about 3 weeks I've been waiting for the surgery, and right now I'm here. It was okay, and I can talk again. That's a great thing. That's a great thing, and I can open my mouth for more than 3 centimeters, so it's great as well.
You were ready to go on Monday. I was out of town, so we pushed it back to Wednesday. We usually go on Monday, but the way we should start today is let's let Botond catch us up on what he missed, because he hasn't been here in a couple of weeks. The Niners made a lot of signings. I don't know how you feel about it. Why don't you tell me your impression of what they accomplished, because they're very pleased with themselves, and then we'll get into the quarterback stuff.
Okay, well, to be honest, I must say that I'm okay with what they have done in the past couple of weeks in the free agency. I think that all of the moves was at least okay, but most of them was decent. But I have to be honest, and I must say that I don't mind that Alex Mack signing is as good as it seemed like for most of the fans, because he is not getting younger anymore, and he wasn't in the top 10 last season when we are just analyzing centers in his position. So I don't mind that. That is such a great signing, but I'm happy that we re-signed Trent, and I think that he is the greatest addition right now for this team. I'm happy with this reconstructing the Richburg. I just can't find the word. Sorry, guys. So, I'm just happy with all the other things that went on with the salary cap. I think that they did a decent job there. The only concern, not the only concern. I just mentioned before that I have my own concerns with the signing of Mac, but I have my own concerns about re-signing Tart. You all know that I'm praising him all the time because I do think that he is one of the greatest safeties right now in football. But the problem with him is that he's really, really injury prone. I don't remember if there was a season when he could play all the 16 games. There wasn't. So he's a great addition. He's one of the most intelligent guys in this team, but I do think that was a luxury signing for this team, and that's why I just can't say that I'm flawlessly happy.
Yeah, I mean, it seems to me that they did better than expected in terms of bringing their own guys back. I don't think any of us expected that they would bring back all the players they did, but that doesn't necessarily mean they improved.
Nope.
The improvement isn't by bringing guys back. The improvement is from them staying healthy, I guess, and the draft coming up, whichever quarterback they get. And as you mentioned, okay, so they had a terrible offensive line last year. They add 36-year-old Alex Mack. Everything's better? Nope. What are we expecting? I mean, he is an upgrade over Hronis Grasu and Daniel Brunskill at that spot, but he's not what he was 5 years ago. He's not a top 10 center anymore, and the rest of the offensive line is exactly the same.
Yeah, and my problem is right now is that, okay, we added a center. We made what we had to made by resigning Trent Williams, but we have a right tackle who is right now more like a pass blocking tight end. We have another offensive tackle who is going to play guard, and he was successful against Aaron Donald, but it was maybe just because that Aaron Donald is more like a defensive end right now, in my opinion, and not just a defensive tackle. And on that game, Rams try to force him to play in the defensive tackle position, and Bransky has a perfect skill set with his long arms to just punish him every time.
Yeah.
So it was just because of that. But you must say, and you must admit it, that that the offensive guard is not Daniel Bransky's position. And I must say that I'm a big fan of him because I've met him when he was here in Hungary a year ago. He's a really great guy. I do think that he is one of the most underrated guys in 49ers offense right now. And he deserves that right tackle spot, not Mike McGlinchey. And on the other hand, we have another guard who is Laken Tomlinson, who was great 2 years ago, but last season he wasn't so great, I think. So there are way more problems in the offensive line than just the center. So
yeah, and my issue with the Niners keep like bringing back their players. They're acting like they have a formula for success. Like they are a Super Bowl championship team as is, and they just have to, stay healthy and keep it together. I don't see them that way. I mean, I see them as a team that even if they do stay healthy this year and everything goes their way, they'll win 11 games and maybe one playoff game and then lose. And I don't see them as a serious Super Bowl contender. So, I mean, I would have, if that's where they stand as like maybe the 10th best team in the league, maybe.
Yep.
Keep trying to improve. Quit telling yourself that you're actually the best team in the league when there's clearly a grip of teams better than you.
Yeah, and on the other hand, I must say that all the other teams in our division are getting better and better this offseason, and don't see that much improvement in the 49ers right now that I could easily say that we can win our group. We can't. I don't see how we can win our group. The Cardinals are
constantly trying to improve. The Rams are constantly trying to improve, and the Niners are like, no, we've had it basically set since 2019.
Yeah, but a lot of people said that the Rams aren't going to be better with Matt Stafford. But come on, man, we have seen Matt Stafford just beating the 49ers ass while Jimmy Garoppolo was our starting quarterback back then. True. Before Jimmy Garoppolo injured first. True. So with the Lions, which was one of the worst team in that time in the NFL, I must say, because there was only one good player, and that was Matt Stafford. Okay, T.Y. Hilton was there as well, but
no, it wasn't even Hilton. It was Galladay and freaking.
Yeah. I'm sorry.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Botond sent me the list of topics for this show, and one of the topics was how the Niners made a fool of themselves. Period. I have no idea what this is in reference to. Botond, I'm dying to find out. Tell me.
Well, we had a lot of talk before I went into my surgery about Deshaun Watson. And I was pretty sure at the time that we are going to sign Deshaun Watson. And after that, it's just a theory in my mind, but I must share it because I do think that there's some interesting ideas in it. So first of all, they realized, as they mentioned it yesterday in the interview, in the press conference, that they just can't continue with Jimmy Garoppolo because there are way more concerns about how he can stay healthy in a season. Mm-hmm. And they wanted to sign a great quarterback. They knew that they just cannot trade up into the first position in the NFL draft. That's why they tried to sign a veteran quarterback. There was two great options, Matt Stafford, who went into the Rams, and there was Deshaun Watson. They artificially tried to increase the value of Jimmy Garoppolo because they hoped that they can get some picks for Jimmy. But yesterday they admitted that they weren't planning with Jimmy. So they wanted to trade him. They failed because I think that the Patriots just didn't want to give them the price that they wanted for Jimmy Garoppolo at all. Because I just cannot imagine any other team who was interested in Jimmy. So they failed. After that, Stafford was signed by the Rams. After that, or before that,
so the Niners were trying to offload Jimmy, couldn't do it.
Yeah.
Rams offloaded Goff. Rams figured it out. Yeah. They got out from underneath that, got Matthew Stafford. The Niners are still stuck with Jimmy Garoppolo, and they're like, okay, it's okay. We'll get Watson. Yeah. No problem. We missed out on Stafford. That's okay. We'll get Watson. And now,
after that,
now Watson's off the table forever, maybe.
Yep,
and now you're like, oh, we have no plan. We have no plan.
Yeah.
What do we do?
And after that, they was like, okay, we didn't do any scouting on the rookie quarterbacks this season, so we have to do something.
Yeah.
After that, they went to some practices, pro days, and other things like that, but they knew that they don't have the necessary information about those quarterbacks.
Yeah.
So they had to do a panic move, because what to do if you don't have any information? You must have a choice, but you don't know who to choose exactly. So you try to trade as far or as high as you can. And that's why they did. That's what they did.
I agree. I think this is a panic move. And it's like when it happened at the time, Niner fans like, man, we just won the Super Bowl. This is the greatest day in franchise history. And I didn't want to rain on the parade because wait a week. But now, like, sobriety is hit. You gave up 3 first-round picks, and it's clear, like, you're not getting Trevor Lawrence. You're not getting Deshaun Watson. 3 first-round picks would have been a fair trade for Deshaun Watson. When I floated, what I would have offered was 2 firsts and Nick Bosa. It's about the same. I would have rather give up Bosa than a future asset just because of the injury history. But that's me. They disagree. Fine. 3 firsts for Deshaun Watson's fair. 3 firsts for the not the best quarterback in the draft, not the second best quarterback in the draft, but the 3rd best quarterback in the draft, when this league has a long-standing history of drafting quarterbacks incorrectly. I mean, most of these guys fail.
Yeah,
that's a panic trade, period.
Yeah, but I must say that I had time because I couldn't talk to anybody or eat or other things like that. So I analyzed every single high-rated quarterback prospect. And after I watched a lot of tapes about them, I'm pretty sure that none of them were the price. The only reason why they are going to get drafted high is because they are quarterbacks.
Quarterbacks. Yes.
That's all.
Quarterbacks always
Nothing else.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah. Nothing else. So 49ers just gave up they switched their 1st round pick this year, and they gave up a 3rd rounder and 2 first rounders in the next 2 years. For what?
For what? For Mac Jones? For Justin Fields?
If you sign Zach Wilson, you will sign a guy who was decent.
Yes.
Who has the ability to long gun plays, who has great stats this season, and who didn't prove himself against any great defenses in college football.
Nope.
And who showed everybody around the world that he is great when he is out of the pocket. Only had
1 great season too. Only threw about 800 passes in college, not extremely experienced. He's not the slam dunk pick that people think. Although I do prefer him to Justin Fields. I think he reads the field better.
Yep, that's for sure. But I still don't think that
he's not Deshaun Watson. No.
Yeah, the second one, Justin Fields. Everybody likes Justin Fields because Justin Fields has had a great pro day yesterday. Well, to be honest about Justin Fields, a lot of analyzing. He has the slowest throwing motion right now if he is going to be an NFL quarterback, and he is going to be an NFL quarterback since Tim Tebow entered the league in 2010 on long passes.
Yes.
And I still think that he's at most a 2-read quarterback.
Let's talk about Justin Fields right now. This is the guy that Niner fans want. It's like there's a consensus. There's a clique of 49ers analysts on Twitter, and it's lockstep. They want Justin Fields, and everything that he does is confirmation that he's the greatest. Do you think the Niners will and should take Justin Fields?
Well, they will take Justin Fields. I don't think that they should take Justin Fields because I don't think that at this position he is the safest pick in the NFL draft. I mean that he's way more safer than Trey Lance, for example, or than Kellen Mond. in some aspects of the game. But I do think that Kellen Mond has a way higher upside. He can develop into something else, which we have never seen in the NFL or which is unique. But he can be a bust as well. But Justin Fields can be a bust as well. So I just don't see why we should give up the third pick of the NFL draft for Justin Fields. He's a great guy. He's a decent athlete, but don't get fooled by a pro day. He was decent in a pro day, and pro days are for players to show the coaches and GMs what they are in the best, but what they are when they are trying to do things that in those they are the best. So,
well, tell me if you agree with me on my assessment of Justin Fields. It seems to me that he throws a beautiful deep ball, great downfield thrower, and he's fast, and he's big, and he's tough. Other than that, I question his release quickness, his ability to throw short and intermediate consistently with accuracy because of that release. And then mostly I question the mental aspect of his game, his ability to scan the field quickly and find the open receiver quickly. I watched a lot of his tape. He doesn't do it. He holds the ball a long time. When his first read isn't open, he takes forever to get to the second read. When a defense blitzes him, he doesn't know what to do. His stats under pressure are abysmal. I think a lot of people look at him as like, well, he's got all this physical ability. If the mental side of his game is a little remedial, coach him up, Kyle. And what I say to that is, who's to say Kyle can actually coach that up? Or any coach can. I mean, Kyle tried with Jimmy Garoppolo, and it didn't work. I think the main reason they're getting rid of Jimmy Garoppolo, or the main reason Kyle hasn't liked him for years, isn't the injuries or his lack of downfield throwing or lack of mobility. It's this. Yep. He can't read the field quickly. He takes too long to get the ball where it needs to go, and Kyle can't. He has no patience for that. So if Justin Fields has the same weaknesses with much more athleticism, I think Kyle's still going to be focused on the weaknesses. And I think those weaknesses are legit because that may be, you think of it as mental, but that may be physical too. It may be a brain gift to be able to quickly scan and quickly decide and let it rip.
Yeah, it's an ability that just cannot be taught.
It's a reaction.
Yep.
Yeah. It's like, I've had a coach call it mental quick twitch. It's just how quick does stuff fire for you, man? It's not necessarily how smart you are. It's how naturally you react under pressure.
Yeah, how you can adapt the information, and after that, how you can turn yourself into your best yourself after that information. Yeah.
So I do not think they should draft Justin Fields. I'm not sure that they will. It doesn't seem like the kind of quarterback that would appeal to Kyle Shanahan. I think he would look at the dude missing open receivers, holding the ball too long, not being on time, and saying, hey, man, let that be someone else's problem. That's what I think.
Yep.
Now let's talk Mac Jones, because he had his pro day yesterday, and a lot of people feel like he bombed it. He's had 2 pro days. He missed a lot of deep throws yesterday. He's not an athlete. And you know what? There's something in his background that people don't talk about. He had a DUI when he was like a freshman at Alabama. Doesn't mean he's a bad guy or a criminal. It's just part of his background. He's not the cleanest prospect. Do you think
a black spot?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, trade up to 3. There's some questions about him. Also, look at his body. I mean, he looks like a guy who doesn't lift weights and probably drinks 4 beers a night. He looks like that. So my question is, Kyle was there yesterday. This is EJ's question. Do you think Mac Jones helped or hurt his case at number 3 in Kyle's mind? Watching that live.
I'm absolutely sure that he heard that.
Heard it?
Yep.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure of that. Well,
much harder to justify taking him now, right?
Yeah. If we are talking about the prospects right now, we can choose who we can maybe choose during the draft. There's Zach Wilson, Trey Lance, Justin Fields, and Mac Jones.
Yes.
Those are the most favorites for the 49ers to draft. And I must say that I do think that Mac Jones is the safest pick, because he proved himself. Maybe he doesn't have the deep ball that all the Niners fans want to see right now, but he proved himself that he is good under pressure. To be honest, he is the best under pressure. He is.
He's very good. I like Mac Jones a lot. I like him very much.
Yeah, but
I prefer him to Justin Fields.
Yeah, but he played at Alabama.
He did.
And
You want to knock
Have you
Fields for
ever
playing on an
seen?
all-star team? This dude was
Yeah,
on a better team.
yeah. And have you ever seen an Alabama quarterback succeed in the NFL?
Not in a very long time.
Nope. Neither do I. So that's a black spot again against Mac Jones, but I still think that he is the safest pick from those guys. Who are available at number 3 pick?
Yeah. Couple things bother me about him though. The fact that look, he played at Alabama, and you have to wonder how much that supporting cast help him. You put him in a setting like a pro day where it's just regular receivers. You're doing a script and you're doing stuff that everyone else has to do, and he doesn't look good. All of a sudden, his lack of athleticism shows up. That's not great. And then the fact that he has that thing in his background from when he was a freshman doesn't help matters. And then the big thing to me, not the pro day or what he did as a freshman, those are just things to keep in mind. He lacks experience. You look at him and he's like, oh, he's polished. He's a polished pocket passer. The dude threw like 570 passes in college. That's not a lot. And pocket passers take a lot of time to develop in the NFL because it's way harder. I mean, the coverages are more complex. The pressures are more complex. The pressure's on you faster. I mean, just because he has, you see like, oh, look at him now. He looks like Tom Brady on Alabama now. He may really struggle as a rookie. Really struggle.
Yeah, he may, but I do think that he can have a great supporting cast in the 49ers offense with George Kittle, with all those great running backs, with Deebo Samuel, who is a really great pass catcher, yes, not just a runner. And with Brandon Ayuk, who was, I think, the most underrated rookie wide receiver last year. True. So he can have that perfect.
He won't have the offensive line yet at Alabama, but he can have everything else.
Yeah.
Let me say one thing, and then we'll move on. But I've felt this way for a long time. I prefer Kellen Mond to Mac Jones. I really do. I like the way Mac Jones plays the quarterback position. He's got the mental side of it down. He may have some physical limitations in the pros that don't show up at Alabama. Kellen Mond, I also feel, has the mental side of it down. I think he really plays quarterback. I think he has the ability to scan, find the open receiver, and I think he's got the athleticism too, kind of like Zach Wilson, except Mond's going to be available and Wilson may not. I really do think Mond could have put up and won all the games at Alabama that Mac Jones did. And the thing that's nice about Mond is he threw like 1,400 passes in college. He started so much. He has experience, and I think that's another, they talk about like checking boxes. This is another thing that's good, another thing that he can check off as part of his resume that other quarterbacks can't.
Yeah.
So if they take Kellen Mond at 3, though, I think everyone's head would explode. I'm just saying, I like him better than Mac Jones. If Mac Jones is in the conversation, you got to consider Kellen Mond because he's a better athlete and he's really a comparable decision maker, field reader, anticipator, stuff like that. Let's answer a couple more questions and then we'll get back to our stuff. Fields 2019 non-COVID season was great. Was it? He didn't win the Heisman. He wasn't the runner-up with the Heisman. He didn't win the national championship. Here's the thing with Ohio State quarterbacks. Every Ohio State quarterback has a great season. Every Ohio State quarterback does 50 touchdown passes, 40. They all do it. What does that prove? Nothing. Right?
Yeah.
Haskins did it.
Yeah, he had a great season back then, but nothing special.
Tell me one Ohio State quarterback who didn't have a great season, ever.
Well, I'm watching American football since about 20 years, and I haven't seen one.
They all play great. They all throw 50 touchdown passes and complete 70% of their throws and throw for 5,000 yards, and then they're out of the league in a year or two.
Well, but it's mainly because of the system that they are running there. It's so quarterback friendly.
Yep.
So that's all. Don't try to just put there a greater picture that he was great back then.
Plus, they're in a Big Ten, which is a slow conference. There's not a lot of athleticism and speed in the Big Ten. They're the fast team in the Big Ten.
Yeah, so he was great. I'm not necessarily saying that he will fail in the NFL, but there's a huge chance that he will fail in the NFL, and you just don't give up 3 first-round pick for Fields.
What is the difference between Fields and other Ohio State quarterbacks who have failed? Like, he's faster than Haskins. Okay. But as passers, what did Fields do that Haskins didn't do?
Nothing.
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 I mean,
and my
they both
concern
have
is
the long release and all that.
well, he's not that bad at short passes, but in Kyle's system, it's just not enough. You just have to throw those short passes into like 10 centimeters. It's about 4 inches. I'm sorry, I know that there are some problems with the metric system.
It's funny. Yeah, 10 centimeters. I have no idea what you're talking about.
Yeah,
can't visualize it.
So that's also a problem. My problem with Justin Fields that I'm not sure that he can do that. And with Kyle's system, there's a lot of rhythm offense in the 49ers, and I do think that he will fail in that rhythm offense.
That's a great way to put it. It's a rhythm offense. To me, Justin Fields' rhythm is all off. The timing, the rhythm. It's like the ball should have came out already. And he's like, okay, well, whatever. Like, I held it too long. That's fine. I have a rocket arm. I'll get it in there. Or I'll just run for the first down. And it worked in college. But we've seen a lot of quarterbacks like that fail in the NFL because every player is athletic. You're not just going to run circles around the league unless you're Kyler Murray, unless you're really the best athlete in the league. But again, like Kyler Murray was a top 10 pick in 2 sports. That's rare. His athleticism is rare, even though he's short. But Justin Fields was going to be a top 10 pick in baseball. He's not on that level athletically, although he is very good. Trade the third and a player for Watson. I don't think anyone's trading for Watson anytime soon. Not that I know what happened, but no one knows.
Yeah, no one knows what happened.
No one knows.
I'm pretty sure that that's in connection with his personal problems with the Texans. I'm pretty sure that he had some flaws before that the Texans wanted to hide, and after the relationship went wrong, they just won't hide it anymore. So I'm pretty sure that we won't see Watson play football again in the next few years.
Here's one thing that's popped into my mind. It's a question I have. I'm just wondering. Tell me if you've thought this. Watson fell to 12th in the draft. Why? He won the national championship. He was a Heisman runner-up. I mean, you like Justin Fields. Deshaun Watson had an amazing resume in college. Won the national championship. Heisman runner-up. Fell to 12th, not 3rd, not 4th. Fell to freaking 12th. Do people know this about him? Is this true? Like, was this the word on the street? Like, hey, man, he's kind of weird. He's a little weird. He's got this thing. But, Clem, I'm not, hey, please don't sue me. I'm just wondering, like, why did he fall to 12? Because, there was no real people at the time. Like, he had an injury, threw some picks, but really, he kind of like proved everything in college and he fell far. I just wondered if that was like, there were some whispers about. I wonder.
About something that happened in college, maybe.
Because people nitpicked him a lot, and there was nothing really concrete other than he threw some picks. Or it's like he won the national championship. Who else did that? Fields didn't do that. So anyway, I guess we'll never know. Let's get back to our regularly scheduled program. I think we talked about why we're not happy with the trade, right? Why we thought we were a little skeptical. Is there anything else you want to say about that?
About our trade?
Yeah.
Well, I was disappointed. I just read all the comments on Twitter, on Facebook, on other pages, on Instagram, and I was like, okay, guys, maybe we made the worst decision in the past few years in the Kyle Shanahan era. I was like that because, there's something in which I'm pretty sure at. Kyle Shanahan just can't draft in the first round of the NFL. The only great pick, there were 2 great picks in the first round, were Nick Bosa, which was a no-brainer. He was the best player available there, and he came into a needed position, and it was Brandon Ayuk. But that's all. Nothing else.
Yeah, it was a good pick, but again, let's see Brandon Ayuk have a second good season before we crown him.
Yeah.
Because Debo had one good season. Pettis had one good half a season. Let's see the dude do it again. I'm tired of crowning people in the 49ers after 12 games, 5 games, 16 games. Like, no, do it again. Do it again. Yeah, I'm talking to Jed. Stop paying people for like a glimpse and a half of something good, man. That's on you, dude.
Yeah, and Javon Kinrow for DeForest Buckner still wasn't a good trade.
No, it was not. It was not.
And it will never be.
So, yeah, let's look at their trade history. They got fleeced for Buckner. They got fleeced for Ford. They lost the trade for Garoppolo. I'm trying to think. They gave up an asset for Emmanuel Sanders, let him walk. They traded for Trent Williams, had to keep him because they traded for him. Which trade have they pulled off? I guess the Laken Tomlinson trade. They kind of gave up a fifth for him, and that's, they have a bad track record trading. They're very, I guess John Lynch has a bad track record trading. He's very eager to make a move, and then he loses.
Yeah, and there are some people who are saying that, okay, but they did a great job in the later rounds with George Kittle and with Fred Warner. Well, first of all, we drafted George Kittle to be a pass blocking tight end because that's what he did in college.
Yep.
And the only reason why we realized that he's a great pass catcher and he's a beast while he's running with the ball is that we had some injuries in the tight end position. That's all. So we were lucky with George Kittle. And with Fred Warner wasn't a third round pick because he was a bad player in college. He was a third rounder because he was just converted into linebacker from safety. And we needed a guy like that on the other side of Reuben Foster back there. Because we all know that Reuben Foster is a savage.
For Foster.
And
oh man, I should really go through and make a list of the trades the Niners have done.
Yeah,
they're so bad. The trades. I mean, they traded up for Ayuk. That's one good one, but they traded up for Dante Pettis. They traded up for Beathard. They traded down for Solomon Thomas. Their trades are horrendous. Horrendous trades.
Yeah.
Oh my God. This is a bad one. Okay, so we're getting really negative now. We gotta come back to the positive. Tobin says, Grant Botond, who is your guy at quarterback, or what should the Niners do at 3? Some constructive analysis. Like, okay, we don't like that the Niners moved up to 3. We feel like it's a panic move, but they're there. What do they do now? We've been commissioned as consultants of the 49ers. Grant and Botond, tell us what to do.
Well, if he is going to be available, just draft Zach Wilson. Yeah. If he is not, then draft Mac Jones. That's all. Nothing else I can just
see. The funny thing is, like, I'm with you on that, but the only thing is I keep coming back to the fact that I prefer Kellen Mond to Mac Jones. And I would say, like, if you were considering Mac Jones at 3, then you should consider Kellen. But I can't wrap my brain around a world where you need to trade up to number 3 for Kellen Mond. I don't, but I do prefer Mond to Jones, Fields, Lance. I will say that with my chest. I think Kellen Mond is better than Trey Lance, Justin Fields, and Mac Jones. I have no problem saying that. Chris Sims said the same thing, except he didn't go as far to put Mond ahead of Jones. He put ahead of Lance and Fields. I'm with him on that. Go one step further. He's better than Jones. But, I mean, maybe the big secret in the NFL is that everyone loves Kellen Mond. He's going to go top 5. I just don't think it's going to go down that way. So it seems like the Niners are going to take Mac Jones. And
you know, that's why I say that it was a panic trade, because there are going to be quarterbacks available at the 12th position of the draft. I'm pretty sure that Kyle Trask will be there available. Kellen Mond will be there available. Yep. And they are not so bad prospects if you try to compare them to the guys who are going to be available at the 3rd position on the NFL draft. That's why I think it's a mistake, because all these guys who are going to be available are just boom or bust prospects in my eyes. Nothing more.
No question. They're all boomer bust prospects. The reason I like Mond is the dude has a ton of tape. Yeah. So at least you feel you know what he is. The other guys, like, man, 500-something passes for Mac Jones. Scary. 288 passes for Lance. I think that's a deal breaker. But then Fields has like 620. That's not a lot. I mean, Josh Allen had 800, and he was a 3-year project. 800. Kyler Murray had about 500, but he's the best athlete in 2 sports. I mean, unless you're getting that kind of guy, I'd like a little bit of experience, like Justin Herbert. Everyone was so surprised that Justin Herbert played so well. Go back and look at his college resume. He played for like 18 years at Oregon. He was playing at Oregon when Bill Clinton was president. It's a true story. No, I'm just kidding. But he was there a very long time. He threw like 1,400 passes. That matters. Patrick Mahomes, he threw like 1,300 passes at Texas Tech. It matters. These guys are going to take some time, and that's why Jimmy Garoppolo is still on the team.
Yeah, that's why I just can't be positive about the trade. The only constructive analysis that I can give is just to try to draft the safest pick, the safest one, and yeah, that's all.
Yeah, and the thing about Mac Jones is he safe? 570 throws in college. I mean, there's some questions about him too. I like doing the comparison game because I don't know, it doesn't really help, but it makes me feel like I understand who these guys are. I keep comparing Kellen Mond to Dak Prescott, Ryan Tannehill, something like that. Ryan Tannehill, maybe. To me, Kyle Trask, he reminds me of Andrew Luck. I really like Kyle Trask. Now, Andrew Luck could scramble more than Trask can, but the way they throw the ball, the way they scan the field, their touch, their ability, compare Andrew Luck's final season at Stanford to Kyle Trask's final season at Florida. I mean, Trask numbers are better.
Yeah. So, yeah, and I must say that I just fell in love with the mentality that Trask had.
Me too.
He was a backup almost in all his career, and he just
his whole life.
Yeah.
And here's the thing about Trask, like compare him to Fields and Jones. Before Trask took the field at Florida, what was their passing game for years? Nothing. They had nothing going. And he comes there and all of a sudden they're throwing on everyone. He took that offense to a whole different level. That team wasn't like that before he started playing. They had guys who just couldn't hack it. Felipe Franks, freaking Jack Del Rio's son. I mean, guys who weren't getting it done. He comes in and changes everything. Mac Jones is just another guy who's played well at Alabama. Everyone plays well at Alabama. I mean, Justin Fields is another guy who's played well at Ohio State. They didn't elevate their offenses to do new things the way that Trask did. And no one talks about him because I don't know. But we're getting off topic. Let's talk about what Stat says. I wonder what Bill and Kyle were talking about at the combine. You think he's trying to see what he can get for Jimmy return the favor?
Well, I'm pretty sure that Kai said to him that, well, you pranked me with this Jimmy guy.
You got me.
You just pranked me.
You got me. Yeah.
Yeah. That's all. Nothing else. I don't mind.
You knew he couldn't read a defense. You told me he was good. You knew he couldn't read the defense. Why'd you do me like that? I trusted you, Bill. Sorry, it wasn't anything personal, but do your homework next time.
That's
you
all.
punked me.
I don't mind that New England is going to trade for Jimmy Garoppolo. I don't mind that anyone wants to trade for Jimmy Garoppolo right now.
No, it doesn't seem like it.
And with the last press conference of Kai Shanahan and Jimmy Garoppolo, and John Lynch, they just said that they don't like Jimmy anymore. As I read that in my mind, because we in Hungary like to say sentences with something meaning meaning in behind those sentences.
Oh, okay. I see.
Dig into
double meaning.
Yeah. So it's something like that.
Okay. Let's look to the future. What do you think the future will bring for the 49ers after this trade? What are they looking at here?
Well, if we are going to be lucky and we just have luck with the third pick, 1G, I must say that we need luck with the third pick of the NFL draft. So if we are going to be lucky, we may have a good 2 or 3 years or more. Hopefully we can find our franchise quarterback, and we are going to be okay. But to be honest, I don't think that's going to happen. So
honestly, if they get it wrong here, go ahead. Let's go ahead.
Yeah.
Go ahead. Say what happens if they get this wrong.
Yeah. So, well, I think that it was a move that can bring Kai Shanahan into heaven or just push him into hell.
Yeah.
So if he fails with that move, I do think that in 3 years they will be fired with Lynch from the 49ers.
Now, what's going to happen is, here's how the NFL works. No one takes responsibility for everyone. So, for anything. So, like, internally, if this doesn't work out, there's going to be finger pointing. Well, John wanted to do this. No. Kyle said that he needed Mac Jones, or Kyle's going to say, yeah, I wanted him, but you forced me to take Justin Fields. I wanted Mac Jones. There's going to be all kind of finger pointing if it doesn't work out, and it may not cost Kyle his job. It could cost John. It costs one or the other, but that's how the NFL works. As soon as something looks bad, it's always, hey, I didn't want to do that. That was not my call. That was Fred's call. I told Fred he was wrong. He wouldn't listen to me. That's Fred's problem, really, between me and you. He doesn't listen. I think we should move on from Fred. I think we should keep me, get rid of Fred, whoever Fred is. That's how it works.
Yeah, but
we talk about accountability in the NFL. They don't have it.
Well, if Chad York is a man, then he must just realize that it's nothing like that. So if he wants his franchise to be successful, he has to get rid of Kyle Shanahan and John Lynch if they are failing with this draft pick.
Yeah. People are saying that Justin Fields hate is ridiculous. Real quick, guys. If you don't believe us about Justin Fields, get your hands on the coach's tape. Watch the offense watch where the receivers are. Slow it down. Ask yourself, how long does it take this dude to find the open guys? Because there's open guys every play at Ohio State. And then ask yourself, when you see how long it takes Justin Fields to scan the field and find a receiver, ask yourself, why do I assume Kyle Shanahan can improve this? Did he improve it with Jimmy? No. If he takes Justin Fields, I'm going to be really shocked. It just doesn't seem like the kind of quarterback Kyle likes. And yes, a couple of days ago at his press conference, they asked him why he's not going to Justin Fields pro day. He's like, well, I'm going to go in the future, but I already know he throws good and runs fast. To me, that was a pejorative. It's like, yeah, I mean, he's got a strong arm and he fast legs, but he's not a quarterback. A quarterback is not an athletic position. It's very much about your brain and your mechanics. I mean, the best quarterback in the world still is a 43-year-old white guy who can't move. Still, it's not really an athletic position. Athleticism helps, but baseline, you need all the other stuff first. And I think that's how Kyle feels. And he's not going to move off of that. He's going to look at Justin Fields and be like, dude, this is just not on time and not in rhythm, not for me. Go play with another offense where you get to throw the ball down the field all the time, because that's not what we do here.
Yeah, and I must say that I don't hate Justin Fields. I just think that it's a reach if you pick him at the third position, and he is not the best fit into the 49ers offense. And I know that there were some jokes on Twitter that if you want to look like an NFL analyst, you have to say that just this and this quarterback fits into Kyle Shanahan's system perfectly.
Oh my God. Can you just imagine random quarterback in Kyle Shanahan's offense? It would be, oh my God, a perfect fit. It's like every quarterback is a perfect fit. Yeah. Oh, just imagine. Just imagine. Anyway, if it's Fields, I'll be real surprised. I think I know Kyle. And the thing is, like, everyone who knows Kyle is saying it's going to be Mac Jones, Chris Sims, Dan Orlovsky, Matt Mayoko. These are guys that have Kyle Shanahan's number. They text Kyle Shanahan, and I'm sure he texts him back. Not that he would tell him, but they know Kyle. And they're all saying, look, it's going to be Mac Jones. It's not going to be Justin Fields. Maybe all of Kyle Shanahan's friends don't know him that well, but I think they do. Right?
Yeah. Sad story.
So I said, okay. All right, Botond. Before we go, can you just explain to people why you can't be more positive? What's your problem? Is it a Hungarian tradition or what?
Well, it's kind of personal stuff. So I don't think that a lot of people know that in the US who are watching us, but actually I'm a friendly person and I'm positive in my life. But what life taught me in the past 28 years is that you just can't tiptoeing around everything. Because if you are not saying what you're thinking, then everybody else will just push you into the ground and not listening to you anymore. Because, well, that's just me. I'm brutally honest about the 49ers. I'm still loving the 49ers. And when I'm negative, it's just because I'm just mad or I'm just I'm just trying to not be sad because some of their moves. But I'm not saying that okay, that it's not so bad, not as bad as it seems like. If it's bad, then it's bad. We are here in Hungary saying that if you put sugar onto crap, that's still crap.
Yes. Yes.
Well, it's not a tradition, but most of the Hungarian people are negative, just like me. Okay, I'm more negative than most of the Hungarian people, but they are negative, and it's just
I'm
because,
negative. Does that make me Hungarian? I can be Hungarian. Honorary.
well, I think that you should just research about your ancestors. Maybe just find some Hungarian.
It's possible I'm like
Hungarians.
8% Hungarian. Yeah, it's true. I'll check it out.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
that's all. It
Yeah.
may be not a tradition, but we are always negative.
I don't see
That's
you
it.
as a negative guy. What I see you as is you're like what 30,000 miles away from us, and you're just not influenced by the echo chamber of Twitter and the Bay Area and what all the people think, and you're really an independent thinker. And you're like, why is everyone agreeing that this is good? Up over here from Budapest, it looks kind of a little dodgy to me. Does anyone else see that? I'm like, yeah, that's a good point, dude. You just have a better perspective. You're a little bit more. A lot of people in the Bay Area are looking at the Niners like this right now. It's like, wow, they look like a really good team. I'm really close in. It's like, maybe you should take 3 steps back and look at why has this team finished last in this division like 6 of the last 8 years? Why? Well, you know, why do you have so much confidence every year from February to August, and then it all falls apart by October? Why? And then you do it again the next year.
Yeah, that's all I think. But you know, on the other parts of my life, I'm as negative, but I'm not really saying that I'm negative. I'm just a critique of life. I'm just a critique of everything. That's all.
That's why I
That's
like
all
you, man.
I
'Cause I'm the same way. I don't want to come on and be like, everything's great. Isn't that so much fun how great the Niners are? I like to actually talk about things that makes people uncomfortable.
Yeah.
And so I guess I'm just the Grinch in that way. But when Niner fans are really wringing their hands together, I'm like, okay, let's talk, guys. Let's talk.
Yeah.
And when Niner fans are feeling really great, I'm like, come on, guys. Can we get back to the good stuff, please?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, for the 49ers fans' sake, I don't know. Noah says Mac Jones number 10, Jimmy number 10. Jimmy traded Gardner Minshew and Mac Jones sit. Yeah, sure, maybe Noah. The fact that Garoppolo and Mac Jones have the same number, I think that pretty much tells you all you need to know.
Well, I like Gardner Minshew. I'm pretty sure that he can be way more successful in the 49ers system, but it's mainly because he came from an air raid offense, which they ran in college, and he can adapt his style way more fluently into the offensive style of the 49ers. But
Nick Mullins played an air raid in the offense, in an air raid offense in college as well. He played for Todd Monken, who's a big spread offense guy. So it could work. Botond, it's such a pleasure to be back with you after, what's it been, 3 weeks, 2 weeks?
Yeah, 3 weeks.
Yeah, 3 weeks. Well, look, I would never tell that you've been through hell the last couple of weeks. You're a very tough dude.
Thank you, guys.
You got that durability.
I'm so glad that I can be back.
Me too, man.
Well, it was kind of hell, yeah, but I had a lot of time watching tapes, so
nice. Nice. All right, well, we'll be back next Monday, this coming Monday. So we'll see you then. Thanks, everyone.
Thank you, guys. See ya.